How's it, everyone? Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to, I think, like the first episode of DIY with Yanku, and we will be just discussing some projects that I've been doing for people. It's a little business on the side that I've started in my free time, where I can to go to guys' houses and do it yourself, or help them do it themselves, so that I can do it and I will do it for them, and just trying to get solutions on how to have put things in place, just kind of maneuver boermarket plan, sort of just fixing something or solving a problem solution. So it's been super exciting. So this is probably one of the biggest projects that I've done, is putting up sound panels in a room that they're going to use as a studio. It was just really such a kiff adventure, because I thought, what can be difficult? Drill holes in, line up the brackets, and Bob's your uncle and it's done. Boom. But there were a few things that made it quite a long procedure, and I think I spent about 3 days doing this. So firstly, I said yes to this project without really knowing what the space looks like, and that's always important. Space was quite smaller than what I thought, so the big thing that takes time was measuring up these panels, make sure that they are in line, and that goes for any project. Like you're measuring, they always say, measure 3 times and cut once. Don't measure quickly and sort of cut, because you want to make sure that what you're doing is what you need to do. And it was really exciting, just to play around with the level. So spirit level is vital for any project, and mapping things out on the wall was the challenge. So that took time. And then another thing was drilling holes into the wall. Here in South Africa, we've got proper brick walls, most of them double walls on the outsides and single walls on the inside. So that's 85 millimeters of brick for a single wall, and you need a proper drill to go in there. And the thing is, each house is built with a slightly different brick. So you get your really good, like red bricks, which are very hard, very durable, more expensive. You get your cement bricks, which are just they're a lot cheaper and they're soft to drill in. So depending on and some houses have some steel in there, some reinforced steel or something, or you have maybe a concrete wall that the guys used. So you don't know. So when you start drilling and your drill is starting to overheat a bit, drill bit struggling to go in, then yay, this is a big one. So I used a friend of mine's drill. It was only 750 watt, so it wasn't like super powerful, and I used quite expensive drill bit. I think it was a proper drill bit. So that's also important, having the right drill bit. And so the one wall, there was some steel in there or something, but it took so long. So that was pretty intense, and that threw a curveball to my timing and what I thought the project would be, how long the project would have gone on for. So in future I would definitely make sure that I have a stronger drill. A rotary hammer drill is ideal, because it turns, and it just has such more of a hammer function than your standard hammer functions on a standard drill. But besides that, it was great, and I put up the panels, lined them up nicely, used an L bracket, not completely L, they were both sides were the same distance. So put those brackets up. I thought that was the best way to mount these panels. I had a look on YouTube on other people mounting, and this just looked like the way that was going to be the most easiest. So put 2 brackets at the bottom. These panels were self-made as well, and they were pretty light, which was nice. I think the brackets are maybe a bit of an overkill of supporting it, but you know it's stable and it won't just fall quickly. So got the brackets at the bottom. I decided on 2 at the bottom and 1 in the middle on top, just because I thought 4 would be overkill, and then your price also climbs obviously with your equipment. And so put up the brackets, and yeah, used small little drywall screws to drill, or not really to drill, but just to hand screw the screws into the wood of the sound panels. So that was cool. That was a little bit tricky just with my measurement as well. Later on realized that on the top, getting in on the top, like there wasn't enough space between the ceiling and the panel to get a screwdriver in, so I had to like use my hand. And so in future I would think of those things and just be like, oh, okay, there needs to be enough space that I can actually fit my screwdriver in there. Yeah, but otherwise I think it went really well. The 2 are mounted against the ceiling. I just measured that up and screwed it in with the drywall screws, and it holds perfectly. So yeah, the owner of the house, and he's very satisfied with the product, or with the service, and how it actually came to being. Saved a lot of money. Soundproofing panels are very expensive, especially if you're looking at proper stuff like rock wool, and even buying panels. So if you can do it yourself, why not? And if it makes a difference, it makes a difference. So yeah, I think the one thing that was a little bit off-putting is that my brackets were very straight, and I tried my best to have it absolutely spirit level and level. So when we put the panels on, the panels were also DIY'd, but the supports on the edges weren't as strong. So when I screwed them into my brackets, it kind of like skewed them a bit, because I wanted to bring them level and they weren't 100% level. So I think that's the only thing, but it didn't look so bad, and yeah, I think it was a good job. So guys, yeah, hope you guys enjoy the video.